Welcome to People of Mallorca right here at Yachting International Radio. I am Ria, I am your host, and I am joined by the ever famous or infamous, as it may be, Frank. How's it going?
It's good. It's good, yeah. Sorry, screen on.
Sorry?
Do I look at the screen? Or...
You can look at me, you can look at the screen,
okay.
You can look wherever you want.
I'd rather
just don't
look at
show
you.
the back of your head.
No, okay.
Because that's just not nice at all. So one thing that I really wanted to do when doing People of Mallorca was to have people that were of interest to the yachting community and to the community at large within Mallorca. And you have been a staple here for so long. I have,
13 years now.
Yeah. What brought you to Mallorca in the first place?
I was actually working in Austria, the ski resort, and all the guys that worked there lived here during the summer. So they said, Frank, come on. And I hate the sun. I really do. I hate weather like this. So I came for a week, and it took me 7.5 years to get off the island. To go home for a week, which I...
So you literally didn't even leave the island for 7.5 years? No. Wow. That's almost like cabin fever.
Yeah. I probably didn't even leave the Lanka.
Wow.
Because this is my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I love it here. I love the people here, the atmosphere. It's for me, it was so different from being back in Wales, in North Wales, because it's so diverse. No one cares what color you are.
No.
Or creed or anything, I've even been to a mosque about 3-4 years ago. And it was just brilliant, sitting down, chilling out for 3 hours, and no one preaching at you. This is what I really loved about it, rather than a Catholic or a Protestant church where, sinner, repent.
Hellfire and brimstone.
Oh, God. It used to drive me nuts.
Yeah.
So I came here for a week and, still here.
So when you first got here, was it the corner bar that you came? Because we're at the corner bar right now, but is this where you came to work first?
No. It was a bar down Jaime Ferrer called McGowan's, Irish bar, owned by this disreputable character. I won't mention his name.
Aren't there a lot on this island?
Oh, there's so many. So yeah, I was in there for 6-9 months. But in the meantime, I got a job with a guy around the corner, Abacus Accounting, just doing maintenance on houses, because that's my background, just construction. And but he was so brilliant, Trevor, absolutely amazing. If there was anybody, if I won the lottery tomorrow or Friday, and I had a check for 30 million, I'd just give it to him and say, just sort this out for me, because I'm useless with money. Just really nice people. Then I got the job here. So I've been here for 9 years now, and I've loved every single minute of it.
Well, it's not as much solely anymore, but this was sort of the massive hub for yachties for many years.
Huge.
It has sort of migrated a bit to Santa Catalina, but there is still quite a large base right here at the corner bar.
We get, I think, more the older ones now.
Right.
Like what happened in Escape Bar.
Right.
All the old people.
Hey, I used to hang out at the Escape Bar, and I wouldn't consider myself that old. Don't be telling stories. But I find it's a bit like a family, isn't it? And
here especially.
And you've seen probably a ton of green crew come through, and then years later they come back and they're not green anymore. They
drive me mad, because what they usually say is, and they're coming in and kind of on, a lot of the Kiwis, Australians, South Africans, my boat this, my boat that. And my first question is, so it's your boat? Well, no, I work on it. What do you do? I'm a decky. I said, so you wash the boat, yeah? And they said, well, yeah, okay, you're a decky. You don't own the boat. The next ones are the stews. Chief stew on a boat, multi-million-pound boat. Oh, you're the girl that puts a little arrow on the toilet rolls and makes sure the toilet's cleaned and do the beds. Then you've got the engineer. Chief engineer, no, you're a motor mechanic. That's all you are. It doesn't matter how big the engine is. You're just a motor mechanic. The worst one is the captain, because he just passes the buck to everybody else. I'm not afraid to say that to any captain out there.
Well, I think, I've had many conversations with many people in the yachting industry, and a lot of the green crew that come over here now, wherever they may be from, they sort of have the concept that they're coming to live this dream lifestyle. And it's actually not that. It's like you say, I mean, when you're starting off and you're applying for a decky job or you're applying for a stew job, you're essentially applying to be somebody's housekeeper or somebody's cleaner, yard guy, whatever it may be. It just so happens to have a different name and a little bit higher of a salary because you're on a floating mansion as opposed to a land-based mansion.
And not paying any tax. To your own country. And to me,
they do pay tax now. I mean, straight across the board, it's changing. I mean, SAFAs themselves, SAFAs were sort of the last ones that weren't looked at too closely, but as of 2020, there's big changes coming down for the SAFAs as well.
Didn't know.
So they are the sort of the last ones to really be lassoed, as it were, into making sure that their tax donation is made. So it's not the industry that it used to be. But I think a lot of these kids come over and they think that they're going to be living this luxurious lifestyle like the boat owners. And it's not true. It's hard work. It's damn hard work. It's not easy.
To me, it's like you have to prostitute yourself to get work. You have to go down and you have to beg for it. You're going around, you're meeting all these people, and they all meet up here and say, "Did you get a job today?" And it might be 6, 8, 10 weeks before they get a job. And they're on the uppers then. They're sending home to their parents for money, just so they can still stay here and try and live the dream. And that's the way I look at it,
Yeah, and it's difficult because, even like with myself, having been here for the last, 13 or 14 years, the influx of new crew has grown exponentially. 13 years ago, you didn't see nearly as many people running around looking for work. There was dock walking, but it wasn't like, you see, for example, on Lars's Palm Yacht crew, somebody posts a job and all of a sudden there's like 150 responses. Now, 13 years ago, there would have been 20. So you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel to try to find employment.
And they can't even get onto STP or Club de Mar. They can't get in there. They're shut down completely.
And that was changed a few years back as well because of the influx.
Because I worked on a boat. Just cleaning it.
Right.
But I used to love it. I was so anal about it. I'd start at the top, work your way down. And they gave me a guy one day, and I was just losing it completely because I had to go around and where there were spots of water on the mirrors or on the stainless steel, I'd be there polishing away. And everything like that. I was so anal about it. So I said, please don't give me anybody. Let me just do it. Even if I have to spend 8 hours, I'd rather do that.
You're a bit of a perfectionist then.
Yes, I was. Because the way I got the job was some guy was in here, the owner, captain of the boat, and he said, I'm looking for someone to do washdowns. I said, I can do that. And he said, have I washed the boat? And I said, no, it's just like a big car. I said, it's all the same. Come up, clean the car, clean the boat. For me. And he said, and he laughed and he got the job. It was great.
So do you find like places like this are great places for people to come and find employment?
Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely. Here, Havana Bar, and a few other bars, Santa Catalina, but we're the only one here really in Mallorca.
Yeah, that's changed because there used to be, at least
O'Brien's,
the Escape Bar.
Escape, McGowan's, all kind of.
Well, there was Mojo's as well.
Mojo's, and then California Burger Bar after that.
Right. Has that shut down now?
That's shut down, and it's now called Bigfoot. For some reason, don't know why.
Okay.
But the girl, Lucy, she's a dancer, choreographer, and very tall, elegant-looking woman. And she used to work behind the bar. And then she found out it was up for grabs. So her and her boyfriend, Tony, they just took it and they've changed it completely.
Yeah.
So they've only been open 2-3 weeks.
Oh, okay. So it's new.
It's very new.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why do you think, some of these places where, I mean, how long was the escape bar here for?
Oh God,
20 years or something, wasn't it?
something like that. Yeah. With Simon
and then the corner bar has been here, what, 17 years?
Yeah, 17, 18 years. Yeah.
So I mean, literally institutions based in La Longa for the yachties. I mean, they, in every sort of port, I think that there's these bars that everybody knows. If you want to do a bit of networking or you want to hang out, it's very simple. Here's where you go. It's just been recently that that's sort of changed. There's no real spot. I mean, I guess the corner bar still sort of remains in infamy, as it were.
Because it's so close, isn't it?
Yeah.
To STP.
Yeah. But, there is bars popping up in Santa Catalina. A lot of people tend to go over to Santa Catalina
They
now.
do, because it's cheaper housing, cheaper flats.
Right.
Here is so expensive.
Why is that? Because they're not as nice, I don't think. Flats
they're
here.
not. No. I don't know what it is. It's.
Do you think the price of the flats is based on the fact that this used to be the hub years ago, and so they've sort of maintained that?
No, I think it's just because most of the homeowners here who actually own the freeholds, they've realized it. It's a great niche to make a lot of money.
Right.
So they just put the prices right up.
And is it long term here, or is it?
No,
it's everything.
Mostly long term.
Yeah. Well, we are talking dodgy with legalization, so we're not going to say any more on that because, and that's the weird thing too, though, is that I get the fact that accommodation has to change within Mallorca and a lot of places around the world. You're hearing that a lot of Airbnb and short-term lets and that kind of thing is creating such a marketplace that people can afford, especially in Spain, can't afford to live.
No.
Because, for example, somebody working as a waitress in a bar here, you're making under €1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And you're looking for a 1-bedroom flat and it's going to cost you €1,000 a month.
Plus
so how
deposit.
Are you So how are you going to eat? How are you going to pay for your car? How are you going to anything else? But there is still, especially when we're talking about yachting communities, there is still a need to have that. Yachties are going to come here. They might get hired after a week.
Yeah.
If they sign a 6-month contract, it's just not going to work. So, but, they might end up 6 months without work as well. So it's quite difficult to say we've got to have a blanket, no more short-term rentals. Because
there's no crew houses around here now.
Yeah.
None at all.
There used to be one over here.
The last one was above Agua Bar.
Yeah.
Ray's place, Crazy Ray.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he passed away.
Yes.
Christmas. And, but in a year before that, he'd given up because you get so much trouble.
Yeah.
You really, people don't care. You got 6 or 10 guys living in a flat and it's mayhem. And they don't care. They don't care what they do to the kitchens, what they do to the bathrooms.
Well, and I guess that would also affect the neighbors too, because if there's neighbors that are actually full-time residents and they have, 6 to 8 yachties living next door that are only there for a couple of weeks and are partying their faces off, it really does disrupt their lifestyle.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'd hate it if it was me, living next door to them.
It's almost as if they need sort of housing right in the docks or something, a big hotel type thing that just literally,
or something made out of containers, so they can't actually damage the walls.
A container. Well, you've got container ships. We just stick them all up over the port.
Well, they did it in south of England. They actually made all the dormitories for a college out of containers.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, because everything was made separately and everything just got pushed in, screwed, bang, done. Finished.
Yeah, and if you need
Instant
more, you
room.
just put on another layer.
And all they did was build staircases up. Perfect, absolutely perfect.
Not a bad idea.
But whether they do it here, I don't know. STP would probably charge more than the homeowners.
Yes, well, things are fairly pricey when you talk about the marinas here and the shipyards. Yeah.
God.
So tell me a bit more about yourself. I mean, what is it that has kept you on this island? Why are you still here?
Hard to say. I just, like I said before, I just love this place.
Yeah. Is it the people or is it everything?
It's I wouldn't say everything because, like I said before, I don't like the sun.
Yeah.
I've been to the beach 3 times in nearly 13 years. Once during the day and 2 nighttime parties. That's it. I just find it incredibly boring, too hot. You get sweaty. You're bothered by people all the time. So this is, and because people know me here and I read ferociously, and so they know if I'm sitting down there reading, not to actually disturb me.
Well, see, I'm the only one that does. Really. Whenever I see him, it doesn't matter what he's doing, I just come over and I harass him and sit down and make myself at home. And poor Frank's like, Ria, hi.
Yeah, no, bog off. Yeah.
That's okay. Do you know what? It's the same as I don't even remember his name because I just call him Grumpy all the time.
Yeah.
This is his table back here.
Oh, Peter.
Peter.
Yeah, Peter King.
Yes, absolutely lovely gentleman. And I've known him for a number of years. And he was very, very to himself. And I used to see him at the escape bar all the time. Yeah. And so eventually I just started calling him Grumpy. And for some reason that warmed him up. I don't know why.
He was getting some kind of recognition.
Yeah. Because he always looked like he was really grumpy. Yeah. Like he does. He has this like bulldog face or something. Yeah. But he smiles. And when he smiles, it completely changes everything, right? Yeah. But
because I used to love going to the escape bar when do you know the other Frank? There's two Franks around here. There's me, old Frank. And there's Black Frank, big ex-basketball player.
Yeah. Is he still here?
We don't know.
I think he's back in the States, isn't he?
He got deported, then came back, and
I think he's back to the States again.
And we used to have so many arguments. I call him
Dodgy Frank.
Yeah.
Very dodgy.
We used to have so many arguments about sports because he insisted that all basketball players are the fittest athletes in the world. And I just put him right straight away, saying, no, there's kind of, biathlons, there's runners, there's swimmers, and
triathletes. I mean,
yeah. Ironman people, it's incredible.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't have it. No.
Do you know what though? I sorry to say this, but he's also American.
Yes. Yeah.
So
New York Bronx boy. Yeah.
When you're talking about the Bronx boys, they tend to have an opinion, and their opinion is the only one that matters. Sorry, Frank, because I'm sure at some stage you're going to watch this, but it's true. And actually, any conversation that I ever had with him as well, he would also.
But it never came to blows, right? Although a lot of people thought it would, because we'd actually be screaming at each other.
You're kidding?
In the middle of the bar.
Over sports?
Over sports, yeah. I had my opinion, and of course, it was wrong. It was only his opinion, like you just said, that mattered.
Yeah, but why would you? I don't understand that. Why would you sort of like?
Because he was so resolute about his opinion.
Which means you were as well.
I was as well, but I was willing to go across the board with sports people.
Right.
He wasn't. He was just bang.
Sorry, flies are invading me at the moment.
Basketball, and that was it.
Well, I mean, and then again, in the States, basketball is very important.
Yeah.
It was invented in Canada.
So basketball? Was it?
Yes.
Same as hockey.
I know, right?
But
I mean, we're the best inventors.
By a Scotsman, though.
Well, yeah, but he was Canadian, so whatever.
Canadian Scotsman.
Yeah, no, it's funny. This year, actually, we had, I think it was a basketball. I'm pretty sure it was a basketball team that won whatever cup it was or trophy it was to be like yes, you can tell I'm so into sports, right? But the biggest award in basketball in the United States, it was a Canadian team that went over there and kicked butt.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
It used to be the Vancouver Grizzlies, and they became the Toronto Raptors.
Right.
They won.
Cool.
They kicked some butt. Brought the trophy home to Canada. What's up, America? Not that I'm into sports or anything, but sometimes it's kind of cool when things like that happen. So are you going to stay here on the island? You're going to stay working at the corner bar? What's your sort of goal now in the future? When you grow up? What are you going to do when you grow up?
I've no idea. I've no intention of going home. All my family are there, apart from one brother who lives in Rio, and a sister who lives in Switzerland. But they all come over here.
Of course they do. We're vacation island.
That's what they said the first time they came over. And they came en masse. I've got nephews and nieces and brothers, sisters. Even my ex-wife's been here twice.
Wow.
Because we're good friends.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
My son lived here for 2 years. And all of them said, now we know why you don't want to come back to the UK, you've got everything here. Beautiful women,
Yeah.
beautiful sunshine, cheap cigarettes and cheap booze. Why on earth would you come home? You know. Yeah.
That was actually one thing I noticed as well when I was in Canada, because I went home for 8 months and I'd been living here for, I think, 13 or 14 years at that stage. And all those things that you thought you missed, it had changed so much and you didn't miss them. I mean, from the day that I arrived, I was like, I need to go back to Mallorca. And I remember when I left, I mean, everyone was like, bye. And oh my God, are you ever coming back? And we're going to miss you. And then 8 months later, here I am.
Back again. Yeah.
But it's the same sort of thing. I mean, there's just something special.
She's like a bad rash, ladies and gentlemen. Just keeps on popping up.
Like a reoccurring nightmare. But there's just something really special about this place. And it's like the booze thing. Like, it was funny because there's something about Mallorca and the fact that you can just walk anywhere and you can run into people and you can stop and have a glass of wine and you're €2 down. But in Canada, nobody does that. No. I mean, you don't just sort of walk around and stop and, you know, see people. It's not that neighborly, and there's not cafes on every corner, and you don't people watch, and it's just a different sort of culture. And if you do have a glass of wine, you have to mortgage your house in order to have that glass of wine. It's true. It's insane. If you want to go out for an evening there, you've got to be prepared to spend at least $100, $150.
Good God.
And that's not including your food. So everybody stays home. So there's absolutely no social aspect. None. It was funny because the friends that I had from before, I went back and it was lovely to see them, but they would work really hard all week. And then they would get together and watch sports on the weekend and drink at home.
Right.
I like to people watch. I like to be a little bit more social and it's just a different thing, you know? And it's the cost, you know, but even the food, like it's funny because I hear a lot of people sort of complain about the prices of food here sometimes. I'm thinking,
I think it's incredibly cheap.
It is
for the quality of food.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And everything is fresh here. You know, that was the other thing is that in Canada, everything's in the freezer. And I'm assuming in Wales and England as well. Everything, you know, you eat out of the freezer. Your meat is frozen. You know, you probably have canned vegetables some times of the year, canned fruit. And there as well. Like my mom had this huge, massive freezer. That like a chest that she put everything into.
Get an elk in there or a moose or something.
But I mean, here, you know, you stop at the market every day and you get your chicken fresh or your meat fresh or your vegetables fresh. And every day it's fresh. And it's so much better for you. It's just, I don't know. It's a different lifestyle.
We're lucky here because we've got the fish market. So it goes straight from the fish market to the bars, to the restaurants, you know, and all the fruit. Same, delivered every day. Barcota is a great example of that. Because I see that I'm in there 8:30 every morning for coffee. And you see...
You realize you've just ruined your morning because you're always so worried about that. You're like, I go to this bar every morning for my quiet time. Everyone knows now. Arcotis at 8 o'clock every morning. That's where Frank is if you want to annoy him. Just saying.
You can really annoy me by taking my book away.
But you're there every morning and they have their fresh delivery.
Fresh deliveries every single day. The food for the kitchens, everything, you know.
And that's you eat there?
No. I eat at home. I only have one meal a day, and that's it.
Why?
I don't know. I've just got so used to it.
Oh.
You know, worked in the day.
And how many beers a day?
Oh, God, don't want to ask that.
Copious amounts of beers in the day.
Copious amounts. Yes.
So is this kind of where you hang out most of the time when you're at work?
Not at night time, no. Never. No. Because it's full of yachties. And young Spanish kids who are so noisy.
Right.
Unbelievable. And rude.
Really?
Yeah, I hate to say that, people, but rude.
They haven't been taught manners yet?
Not at all.
No.
Because their parents say, it's, you know, little kind of, you know, Letitia's, you know, she's okay, you know, I don't care if she's rude to anybody else as long as you're not rude to me. And their table manners, you know, they think, you know, like beer mats. The people who tear up beer mats into little pieces, throw them on the floor.
What?
Yeah. Oh, Drives me mad.
Well, see, my kids are the opposite. My kids, they are so rude to me, but incredibly polite to the world. So I don't know where I've gone wrong.
When my son came over, everybody said how well-mannered he was and how respectful he was. And he'd open, he'll open doors for people. It doesn't matter, male or female.
Right.
If he's head, and he'll hold the door open. I'd like to think that kind of it was me and my ex, we got it into them. My doors is the same.
So you beat it into them, really?
No, I got so sick of smacking him because he was a naughty child.
So he took after his father.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he hates the dark. So I just put him outside, close the door on him. Sorry? All right. Okay. Can I just? I've got to tell the boss.
Yeah. No worries. We've lost Frank for actually just about a minute, maybe. But head on down to the corner bar. It's open and business is happening and there's lots going on. And I think usually about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon is shortly now is when people start filtering in, if they're hungover or not from the night before. So if you just bear with us, Frank will be back shortly, I think. But if you want to, give us some comments, ask some questions, do whatever. Let us know you're listening. It's always nice to interact with our people that are tuned in. We do appreciate hearing from you. And I am going to quickly sign off for a little bit until Frank does come back because, I don't really have much to say today. I was interested in Frank. Right, so stick around. This is Rhea for Yachting International Radio.